Okay, so where do I begin? We've got Donald Trump adding even more tariffs to China, now new tariffs to the EU, and now we've got China adding tariffs back to the USA, and it's becoming a right trade war. And yes, you can be assured that this is going to affect my dropshipping store, your dropshipping store, or your e-commerce business. Hi guys, my name is Camille Sattar, also known as the ECOM King, and in this video, I'm going to be discussing the latest updates on the tariff situation when it comes to e-commerce and dropshipping. So if you're actively participating in this industry, whether it be dropshipping or e-commerce, you need to watch this video in full. Now, I don't want you guys to be panicking saying, well, dropshipping is dead, e-commerce is dead because of these tariffs and these trade wars. That is not the case. Now, before I unfold into the tariffs and trade war, guys, make sure you smash the like button on this video because I've been committed to updating you on this subject consistently. I've done like 4 updates. This is probably my 5th one now, so I'm definitely committed in making sure you guys know the latest information. All I ask for in return, guys, is that you smash the like button and leave a comment with your thoughts and your opinions and if I've missed anything out. So here are the tariff updates as of March 2025. So the first thing we need to go over is the US tariffs on Canada, Mexico that take effect on China and raises it from 10% all the way up to 20%. Now, the best way to look at a tariff is by looking at it like a tax. That's all it is, guys. Tariff equals tax. Now, on March the 3rd, 2025, the Trump administration made it clear the intention to move forward with implementing tariffs on Canada and Mexico on the 4th of March. These tariffs are an additional 25% on all imports from Canada, Mexico. The most important one is on the order on March the 3rd to increase the 10% tariff on all imports from China to 20%. So instead of it being 10%, now it's going to be 20% on March the 4th. Now, this is where things get interesting, guys. China's starting to retaliate and say, well, if you're going to put tariffs on us, we're going to put them on you. So China retaliates as of March the 4th by implementing a 10 to 15% tariff on the US products. But while it doesn't hit dropshippers, consumers directly, it adds uncertainty to the global trade. It can indirectly affect consumer sentiment. Now, what does this mean? It means consumers might be scared to buy things and may only buy things that they need, like necessities, instead of just random products online. Like I said to you guys before, a tariff is just like a tax. And if China starts doing it back, then it's going to make a lot of inflation rise in the US. The cost of living will be going up in America because, again, their groceries, their food will be increasing, which means that extra bit of money that they might have to go and buy our dropshipping products online might get affected. So this is where things get interesting. From fashion to alcohol, these sectors are being swept up in the US-EU trade war. In late February 2025, President Trump announced plans to impose a 25% tariff on EU imports. Target includes various consumer goods. This could be affected like products like clothing, accessories, home decor, and many dropshippers source or sell these products. And of course, the European Union would have retaliated by preparing its counter tariffs set to target roughly a 26 billion of US imports starting from April 2025. Now, this becomes a lot more complicated because if you're not only dropshipping from China, let's say you're dropshipping from the EU to the US, you're now going to get affected by these tariffs. So now we're in this vicious cycle of everyone tariffing everyone as a retaliation, which just basically means it's really hard to sell in these other countries because it doesn't matter where you're selling from to, you're eventually going to eat up some of these tariff taxes naturally. I've got a huge announcement that you don't want to miss. Now, don't worry, I've got nothing to sell to you. This is going to be a completely free opportunity that I can promise you don't want to miss out on. Now, this huge announcement is the ECOM King Bootcamp for 2025. Now, if you don't know what the bootcamp is, it's an event that I ran last year where I was mentoring 1,000 people and I gave away over $25,000 in cash prizes. Now, if we talk about the results that the students in the bootcamp got last year, this is where things get crazy. 7 of them hit $100,000 with their store, and over 100 of them hit their first $1,000 with their Shopify dropshipping stores. Now, basically, I'm going to be running the ECOM King Bootcamp again in the next coming weeks. So this is what I'm saying. You do not want to miss this out because it's going to be restricted to just 1,000 people. Now, we're going to be doing cash prizes again this year, and we're going to be giving away a minimum of $25,000 divided and split it up to different winners. We're going to be dropping more in-depth video lessons this time that are going to be longer than before, so they're going to be more episodes and the duration are going to be longer. We're going to be doing weekly live calls that are going to be an hour long, so you can learn from me and you can ask your questions. Now, I want to say this again and make it very clear, it's completely free to participate inside of the bootcamp. Now, if you're serious about participating in the ECOM King bootcamp, you can join the waitlist below, or you can access the waitlist in the ECOM King vault. But what I will say is, do not sign up unless you're serious about the bootcamp. Now, although the immediate impact on dropshipping might be indirect, these moves add uncertainty and could eventually influence global pricing and shipping dynamics. Now, this is where things get really important for us guys that are selling Chinese products to the US. The de minimis exemption update. Now, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or wrong, but either way, you know how important this update was last time I spoke about it. The $800 de minimis exemption, which allowed low value packages to enter the US duty free, is now in jeopardy. Trump's administration initially scrapped this exemption for Chinese shipments, meaning even small packages could face tariffs and custom processing. Now, what does this all mean for dropshipping and dropshippers? Higher product cost, thinner margins. With a 20% tariff on Chinese imports and a 25% on Mexican goods, dropshippers are faced increased wholesale costs. Now, basically, what the biggest companies are going to do is try and pass on the tax or tariff to the consumer. But I'm going to get onto that a little bit later on, and don't worry, I'm going to be giving you the solutions in the next few moments. But let's talk about the supply chain disruptions, new tariffs, and the end or temporary suspension of the de minimis exemption add more custom processing steps and paperwork. This can lead to shipping delays, meaning customers may experience longer waiting times for these orders, which also means higher returns. Now, there's going to be increased uncertainty and market instability. Regulatory measures from China, which is a 10 to 15% tariff on the US exports, and the EU plan to counter tariff contribute to an overall uncertain trading environment. Such uncertainty can lead to reduced consumer confidence, potentially lowering overall sales volumes. Now, I'm on this website where it gives you loads of economic data. Now, I personally keep up with this stuff because it helps me understand what's going on with consumers right now. And you can see a week ago, consumer sentiment and confidence came out and it dropped quite a lot. So it's going down, not going up. So I'm going to keep a track of this and update you guys on it. But basically, the more that this keeps dropping means that there's less confidence in the market. Now, another metric that you can use to show how damaging these tariffs have been is by tracking the US dollars index, which is called the DXY. Now, you can see here when Trump just got elected, it was all the way here at 110 again. This is the US dollar's value. Now, remember, the US dollar is the most traded currency in the world. It's the reserved currency. Now, since these tariffs have come out, the US dollar's strength has almost dropped 7%. Now, for a currency to drop almost 7% is quite crazy. Now, you might be wondering, well, why do I care about the dollar's strength index? Because remember, you're probably going to be buying your dropshipping products in the US dollar. So if you're buying your products at a very low value dollar, then it means that you're paying inflation, again, a tariff. You're buying your products with a very low valuable dollar, which means that you're paying more than you should be. Now, when you're doing 6, 7, 8 figures in e-commerce and dropshipping, this is when you really need to start paying attention on how strong is your dollar and how are you buying it in which currency, because this will all add up on your bottom line. Now, most YouTubers won't share this information with you, but I will, because I know how important it is to this industry and to you as the business owner. Now, we've got a lost advantage of the de minimis exemption. The planned elimination of the $800 rule means even low value small shipments from China will incur tariffs and require more detail. This change undermines a core part of dropshipping model that keeps costs low for inexpensive items. What can you guys do from here? You can directly speak to your supplier and ask how many days will the shipping times be delayed for. Constant communication between you and the supplier, as well as between you and the consumer, is very important. The second thing that you're going to want to start doing is stop selling cheap products. So stop buying those $3 products and selling them for $19 or $20. Now, number 3, because of the trade war, people not wanting to spend money as much, you might want to look into products that solve problems instead of trendy products. Now, usually when consumer confidence is high and there's loads of money being pushed around the economy, people will start spending money on trendy products instead of essential products. Now we're going to have to go back the other way. which means start selling essential products instead of trendy products. Number 4, you can use different suppliers such as ECOM ops because they are the best when it comes to logistics at a high level of e-commerce and dropshipping. If you're just a beginner, stick to Zendrop. Zendrop's the best for a beginner or an intermediate, but if you're doing big numbers, ECOM ops is your best solution. You can create strong bundle offers. So this is where average order value is going to be so important now. If you're not doing average order value tips or tricks, you're going to struggle. Last thing you can do is you can start to set up email marketing, which goes out after a few days to give the consumer the correct expectations of delivery times. So just to quickly summarize everything again, guys, remember it's not just Chinese dropshippers that are now affected. It's EU dropshippers and any other dropshippers that are affected by the tariffs that I've just mentioned. You've also got to understand that low ticket products are going to die eventually. There are going to be some delays at the boredoms and customs, so you need to let your customers know that there are delays. Remember to start selling essential products or problem-solving products, not trendy products. Remember, consumer confidence is slowly coming down. We've got a weaker dollar, so you need to start thinking logically about those few things. Now, with that being said, guys, that was the update. Let me know if I've missed anything out. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.